Hello, hello. Oops. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Venus Day. I don't think I'm going to cry on today's show, but I might. Thank you, everyone, for being like so sweet. Wednesday, I'm laughing. It wasn't even funny, but Wednesday was a really hard day. So I appreciate just getting to have the vulnerability in this space. It feels so good. And now, yeah, we have a new background. I'm wearing this is my Gemini shirt of just like lots of color and blue and little party mode. Okay, today, I was gonna have Audrey on, but she has to go do some business stuff at the bank for us. So we can't talk about business because she just has to do business. The theme of this week is like the bank for us, which is the other part of having a spiritual brand, where it's like, can't we just akashically connect and understand like money is a made up construct, but turns out not for right now. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about just the energy report. We have a big week next week in astrology. We have Mercury just changed signs yesterday, which will affect us for the next few weeks. And then Mercury will be going retrograde later this month. Yay. Oh, hi, Kay. Okay, well, while you're here, hi. Also, hi to Val, if she's watching. Say Mindy says hi. I'm so proud of you and your new podcast. I'm so excited to listen. It's going to be great. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions about any of the astrology happening right now. I know the past few lives we've talked about everything from we read some cards on Monday, and I've had lots of guests. But there's a lot of planets retrograde right now. Those are all in my story or my feed if you need. And we have eclipse season is beginning next week on Friday, June 5th, is the official like first lunar eclipse of this little eclipse chain that we're in, because eclipses happen in pairings or groups. And then we have Mercury just went retrograde. I mean, oh, no, Mercury did not go retrograde. It is going to go retrograde. LOL, I almost just like added an extra thing to us. We have a few more weeks for that, but Mercury did just enter the sign of Cancer, which can make us really emotional and tender. So hi. Hi. Oh, hi, Sarah. Oh my God, my sexy Scorpio. She owes me a text. No worries. I am always owing someone a text, and Gemini season has my phone like blowing up. So I'm sure someone watching this, I probably owe them a text or an email. I love you. It doesn't mean you don't. Like this, Arden. I just saw Arden. Arden, I'm gonna email you or DM you. I'm gonna slide your DMs. Oh, Arden. I'm gonna DM you this, but this card, I was thinking about you this morning, and this card fell out of this deck. And it's all these foxes and the 5 of Wands. So I was gonna like DM you this. I was cracking up. I was like, there's my fox. I know eclipse season hasn't even started yet. Let's just talk about that for a second. So it's interesting, quote unquote. This week has been really hard. This week has been it's been beautiful, as Glennon Doyle says. It's been beautiful. We had the most beautiful ceremony on Tuesday night with my cosmic bosses that left me so open and vulnerable and hopeful and just so like in those cosmic moments where you really like understand everything in life and everything kind of clicks and makes sense. And then you all saw me on Wednesday, how anxious I was and I couldn't stop crying. So also I think being so open and vulnerable, I was just like, it was a lot. And then I started making a video earlier this week for the eclipse season. And I talked about that, like the eclipse in Sag coming next week, the full moon, which is a lunar eclipse, it's a full moon on steroids. The lunar eclipse in Sagittarius is asking us to really step into our biggest truth and our scary truth and that unknown adventurous truth that we may not even have gone there yet. And Sagittarius is asking us to, in the full moon, like, what are our new belief systems and where does our life not reflect those belief systems? And I wrote this earlier this week and I said, you're going to be asked to kind of burn everything to the ground that doesn't align with that truth and that belief system. And so waking up this morning to seeing actual fires in Minneapolis and yesterday, I'm like, yeah, like I don't ever obviously condone violence, but let's be honest. Yeah, like the nice, passive, peaceful ways, no one's been paying attention to them. So this energy of like burning things down, I don't invite anyone to do that literally, even though I was like a little tempted earlier this week. Um, there's this energy coming with the eclipse. It's Sagittarius. It's fire energy. It's coming to like, no, I want to live a life of truth and freedom for myself and everyone, and I will burn up. Like I will burn the this fucking place to the ground, and that is what's happening right now. I invite everyone here, if you're watching, I invite us to live in the Sagittarius element is going to be leaving comfort zone. Gemini is the sun in Gemini, the moon's in Sag. So when we have an eclipse, we look at the access, we look at the portal that it's in, the portal it's creating. Gemini is going to be leaving the comfort behind a little bit, leaving like a little bit of the known behind. And it's a little bit more, Gemini is about like the mind that digests information, that chats, that socializes, and it's stepping into Sagittarius, which is the sort of like higher mind, our belief systems, our philosophies, and sort of like that higher mind, that consciousness, that knowing. When you just know, you know what's truth and you know what's being fed to and what's not truth. And this is going to be an eclipse where we're all going to be asked, like, what's not coming with us through this portal. And I want everyone, if you're watching this, Sagittarius is going to be taking inspired action. Like it's like doing something with this energy, but it's also about like, okay, like I want to reflect the world I want to live in, and I want to be like, who am I going to be through this portal and change, and what do I want my life to represent and my energy to represent. And I would really appreciate, I'm going to do a workshop through our Cosmic AF community, but I might open it up to like the public just because the eclipse season is so powerful. I want us to think about like, what's the intention that we have for our society right now? Because eclipses, they make time bendy. They make time like quantum. Deep, radical endings and beginnings can happen through eclipses. Things can happen so much faster than you think in terms of transformation, in terms of like upheaval, in terms of closures and beginnings. So I want us to like not go into this eclipse with fear at all. I want us to go into like, okay, great. The universe knows that as humans, we desire to grow. We desire to evolve, but there's a part of us that doesn't want us to grow. There's a part of us that stays scared. That's that total reptilian primal part of our brain. And eclipses come to be like, no, you're meant to grow, and we're going to make things happen really fast. I'm going to talk about all of this in our workshop, the do's, don'ts. I filmed a YouTube video where I'll get into more detail about that. It's going out in our newsletter today. But my thing I always say about eclipses, people get scared about them. And yes, they are full of surprises, and they are a little wild, and they are forces of nature. But guess what? So are you. You are wild. You are a force of nature. Let it move through you. Set your intentions and let it move through you. And just be like, what am I ready to let go of? What am I ready to like stop holding on to the okay, to like reach for the mind-blowing, juicy, awesome greatness, okay? Or just, it might be painful too sometimes. Like sometimes it's a thing you have to let go of. And I should point out, lunar eclipses usually have to do with a little bit more relationship work, and solar eclipses are a little bit more about like the outside world, you know, your relationship to your job, or your relationship to like your body, or your freedom, or your abundance. And I find that lunar eclipses, and my teacher taught me that they are more about relationships. So you can expect things to be illuminated. You can expect the unexpected. You can expect maybe like revelations of love. You can also, if someone's hiding something that might come out during the eclipse is like, brings it all to the surface. So, oh, Rick Levine, if you're watching, hi, I'm a huge fan of yours, and subscribe to your YouTube. You are amazing. Let's see some comments. Yeah, is Pluto retrograde playing it extra hard right now? Yeah, this week has been really intense. I know I've been feeling that. That lines up. Yeah, the riots, exactly. So Sag signs, yes. So I do want to point out the Sag Gemini placements. Like, you will feel this a lot. But the thing that I do want to also point out is that like eclipses happen every year. And they happen in these signs. They happen every like few years. I have it in the YouTube video I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but I think it was like 2001 to 2003, 2010 to 2013 were the other Gemini Sag eclipses. So I think that we can go through that and think about where we were during that time. And you know, eclipses, they happen every year. There's multiple of them a year. Sometimes like the mainstream media and like the whatever world of like Instagram astrology can make them seem like overly scary, but like you've been through many of them before. So it's just about like setting your intention, all the cosmic energy. It's just how can I work with it? How can I work with it? Instead of happening it to me, which always feels scary. So yeah, so also I should point out too that my Leos and Cancers, you also just naturally feel eclipses a little bit more intensely, and you feel the energy of them because you're naturally ruled by the sun and the moon respectively. So just taking that into account too. Okay, yeah, we can't choose to not go through. We wouldn't want that. It'd be so boring to not grow and expand and transform. Just letting everyone know, like a few years ago we had the Leo Aquarius eclipse, and my parents are Leo Aquarius, polar opposites, and I did some deep heart healing that eclipse. I didn't even know what I needed healing from, but I offered it up to that eclipse, and I was in the summer, I had a fire on the beach, and whatever happened that day, I've never gone back from it. There was a level of healing that I just couldn't get to. Through therapy, through energy work. It was something deeper that had to happen, and it was like truly a cosmic shift. So I want us to honor that with eclipses, that's the medicine, okay? But I made a whole YouTube video about it, but I will repeat some things here. Eclipses need space. They need space. Like I have tried to rush through eclipses and keep myself as busy as I normally am. It doesn't feel good. So having some space to breathe into, having space in your calendar, making time for meditation. I worked with one of my cosmic bosses called Kel yesterday. I did a session of just like a beautiful yin movement breath session, which on my own, I would never do that for like 45 minutes or an hour because I get too distracted into like onto my cosmic downloading and working. But it felt so good. I felt all of this tension leave my body, and I just felt like my whole self come back into center. So that's going to be really important. And we're going to talk about some other do's and don'ts. Also, one of my teachers, Samuel Reynolds, talks about, my astrology teacher, don't charge your crystals under the eclipse. I'm going to be mentioning this a few times, but crystals hold energy. They store energy. That's what they do. That's what they work. And when you charge them under the eclipse, it's just an erratic energy. It's just wild. It's unpredictable energy. So he equated it, he told me like, it's like charging your cell phone with a like live power line from outside. It's like, yes, it's power and electricity, but that might be a little bit too much for your phone to handle. And so you just, we work with crystals to ground us and to bring us into earth energy. And to connect to like lunar energy, but with eclipse energy, you just, it's not the time for, you can always do your, like people say don't manifest under the ritual, under the lunar eclipse. I don't necessarily agree with that because to be thinking and breathing as a human is to be manifesting. You're manifesting with your thoughts all day. But I do think that rituals in terms of like really intense rituals, working with crystals, working with moon water, magic with a K kind of stuff, just hold that out till eclipse season is done. And then there'll be another, eclipses always happen in pairs. This one's going to happen in threes. The next eclipse, which will be in Gemini, a solar eclipse, will be June 21st, right around the solstice. I'll talk about that more later. So that's kind of like my high level eclipse stuff, but like breathe, rest, water from now till June 5th. Like make space, make space, make space. Notice what's coming up. And just the more space you could breathe into your life and the more space you make for eclipse season, the better it feels. Then it's like you get the cosmic reset button and it's amazing. So I also just want to talk briefly today about, very briefly, just giving us the heads up that Mercury moved into Cancer. So what does this mean for you? It moved in there yesterday. It'll be there for the next, Mercury will be in Cancer, I think through July 12th. Let me double check the dates. But I know that the important thing is that on June 18th, Mercury will go retrograde. in Cancer. And Mercury in Cancer is going to be a little emo, y'all. Is anybody here a natal Mercury in Cancer? Oh my gosh, melodramatic soul. First of all, I saw you start following me on TikTok. I think I followed you back. I love it. Well, you have multiple Cancer, Gemini, and Sag placements. Yeah, okay. That's just like a buckle up buttercup energy, but like all good things. The Gemini Sagittarius, the eclipse energy is really going to bring like a reset of something, a freedom for you. So that's really good. Okay, melodramatic soul. You also have a natal Mercury in Cancer. That is amazing. Yeah, so you're going to be feeling, I will say you are going to be feeling like a lot. A moon in Cancer. Okay, so I have my Cancer rising. I like speak the language of Cancer. All of my people who find me usually have a lot of Cancer placements. So what does this mean? Mercury in Cancer, Mercury is fast moving. It wants to go forward. It doesn't want to be tied down. It wants to have forward motion. What's next? Thinking, processing, talking, chatting. And then when Mercury goes into Cancer, it sort of gets like short-circuited because Cancer doesn't want to move directly. Cancer is more watery. And Cancer wants to look behind it a lot, towards home, towards family. It wants to look towards like the past, home life. So Cancer, Mercury in Cancer can make our thoughts feel a little foggy. They can make us sentimental. It can make our just, Mercury is our thoughts and how we process information cognitively. It's how we communicate. It's how we travel. But it's also like our consciousness, like what's on your mind all day. What's on your mind, when you're driving your car, walking, or just mindlessly like washing dishes, or while you're talking to someone, what's coming up in conversation a lot. Mercury in Cancer is going to be, you might be having like super nostalgia. You might be talking about like childhood, family, sentimental stuff. Also, it's going to be maybe like stuff coming up that you haven't thought of in a while, or people from your past coming out, or maybe like family members you've been talking to in a while. Mercury in Cancer is going to make us like feel kind of like soft and gooey and sentimental, and it's good time to nurture ourselves and nurture other people with our words. I think the highest calling of Mercury in Cancer is like, how can we create a safe place and a safe space for everyone in the world with our words, written and spoken. That to me is the highest calling of Mercury in Cancer. So I want us to think about that. Mercury in Cancer, also with Gemini Sun. That combination to me is also the cosmic RX, is don't feed the trolls. Do not waste your time and energy on internet trolls. Please, I posted something this week that's a little sassy, and most people very supportive. Thank you all, people commenting, supporting. I mean, I'm not doing it for the accolades, obviously. I just want to speak my truth. I appreciate when people feel the same way. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something. It makes me feel good. But of course, there were some people who slid into the DMs and just had something to say, and I just mute. I just don't come at me with. I don't feed the trolls. I don't feed. If you want to have an intellectual discussion, they want to stay curious. Great, maybe. Hi, baby. Oh, hi.
Yeah, that basically is last time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Hi, thank you. Hi. Yes, time to write more songs. Mercury and Cancer, my life wizard, just delivering me oatmeal. See, I need a little nurturing. So saying, don't feed the trolls. Feed your partner instead. That's much better. So laughing. Yeah, the Mercury and Cancer and Gemini Sun and some other things that are happening with Neptune and Mars, I would just say don't feed into that. Use your words. Think about how you can use your words to bring healing, to bring a safe space for all. And then just be aware, you just might feel more sensitive. You might not have the bandwidth. Someone snaps at you or something goes wrong, you might just feel sad. But the Mercury and Cancer message and the invitation is to help us all become even more direct with our communication. So Mercury, Cancer kind of moves side to side a lot, that crab energy. If you ever see a crab, they move like this. They don't really move head on. So Mercury and Cancer is if there's something upsetting you, just say, because you know what? Your energy is always going to give it away. If someone asks you if you're okay and you're upset and you don't want to cause a scene and you say, I'm fine, they're going to know you're not fine. So the jig is already up. So just be direct, be head on, It's really gonna benefit you. It's emotionally cleaner. It's energetically cleaner. It's clearer for your partner, your friends, your family, your coworkers, and it feels better for you ultimately. So let's just honor Mercury in Cancer, be a bit more direct, still with compassion and tenderness, but directness is not a bad thing, okay? To be direct about your feelings, it's not bad. So I think, and it's also just Mercury in Cancer, it's going to be looking out for being in your shell too much. Like when you're upset, you can retreat into your shell to gather your thoughts and processes. I'm a big fan of that. But then, like, you don't want to stay in the shell forever. You do want to then communicate that, or else you get that stuck energy, that stagnation, and that's not good. It doesn't feel good. So, any questions about Mercury in Cancer? Mercury retrograde, again, not till June 18th. We will have, it's just joining the retrograde party. So, any questions about eclipse season? Any questions about anything I talked about today? So this weekend, like I said, I really want us to think about rest and creating space and taking inventory of your life. Like what's not true to you? You know, what's not resonating with you anymore, and you have to be honest. That's that sad, like, truth, like honesty. Like, I've outgrown these things, or I used to believe these. My belief systems have changed a lot in these past 2 months, this past year. So like looking at that in your life, it'll feel really good to intentionally, you being the one who's decided what you deciding was not in alignment versus having the universe decide for you. Okay, so my oatmeal, I'm hungry. Lisa, okay, says start and end dates for Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury usually moves really fast, and it usually hangs out in a sign for like 3 to 4 weeks, like 17 days average. But it's gonna be in Cancer for a while because of retrograde. Because what happens is it's like it's not moving as fast as it normally does, so it'll hang out there longer. That's why we also have Venus in Gemini is retrograde, and we're in a really long Venus in Gemini moment right now. So it's gonna be here. I pulled it up in my notes so I wouldn't get it wrong. It starts June 18th, like I said. Or no, sorry, we're in it now. June 18th, it goes retrograde. Ooh, wait, it sticks around in Cancer until August 5th. Damn. So we're gonna be in Mercury in Cancer for the good majority of the summer. I also should point out Mercury in Cancer is going to be a lot about leaning into our emotions and our intuition, not just words, like a psychic energy. Like Mercury in Cancer is very about like the energetic subconscious realm. So paying attention to the things you feel in your body, like your clairsentience. Pay attention to the things that you're like, you just know, and you don't know how you know them. Like those are things that are opening up to you. But like I said, you can't expect people to read your mind. You have to be direct in your communication when you're ready. But like anyone who does like psychic downloading work, intuitive work, now through through August 5th, I can't believe that. I need to double check that. It's going to be a great time for downloads, and I'm very excited to hear what comes up for all of you and the things that are happening in the level of consciousness. It's a good time. It's a good time to be a psychic. It's gonna be a questionable time for some other things, but no, I'm just kidding. All good. Okay, so that's your energy report. Those are your big things happening. And yeah, you just let me know. I'm going to release a YouTube video today about just like eclipse season do's and don'ts, and just some of the more nitty gritty of like the degrees of the eclipse. And whenever you see a degree in an eclipse, you can find the degrees of that in your chart and look. I'm going to be kind of going over this, especially with the magic of you this week, of like finding degrees in your chart, but it's super easy to do. So this eclipse is going to be, I think, 15 to 16 degrees Sagittarius. So looking at where that is in your chart, for me, that's like my Mars in Sag is very close to that. So looking at like where that affects in your chart will help you understand what this eclipse is going to bring in, what it's going to feel like a reset button on. Okay, so hi Baldwin. Well, I had so much fun in our session this week. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to sign off now, eat my oatmeal, get ready for my calls for the day, and just sending you lots of love. If you haven't, definitely sign up for our newsletter. we're going to be sending out that YouTube video. We're sending our guide to Gemini season out. It's a little bit late, but I had a lot going on, and I had to honor my rest and my process too. So the Gemini season magazine, that's a PDF you download for $11.11. It has everything you need to know about Gemini energy, but it'll have the full astrological dates of Gemini season, the key dates, the downloads, your horoscopes. So it's a great like reference guide, and it looks beautiful because Audrey, my business partner, made it into like a luscious, aesthetically pleasing magazine because she's a Pisces like that. Pisces, Leo rising like that. Awesome. So yes, thank you. Okay, good. So good to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you on Monday. And Monday we're going to have the art sub Kay back on. We talked last time about art and the importance of art and healing, but her other element of her, because she's a Libra, it's art and beauty and healing, but she also is talking about justice, social justice, and activism. So we're going to be talking about, in honor of everything happening right now, Black Lives Matter, forever and always, everything going on in our country, but also as we lean into Pride Month. She is a queer artist, and we are going to talk about how to just get involved, how to support these our communities that have marginalized voices, and so what can we do as to stop them from having marginalized voices and just support them fully, always, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and of course through inspired action. So I'm very excited to have Kay on Monday morning, 10 a.m. here. Okay. I appreciate you all so much, truly. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you, thank you. My friend Colin always says time is the most valuable, non-renewable resource. So I honor that you spend your time with me. It makes me feel really humbled and honored. And I'm just so happy to know that there's other people who are just trying to align themselves with the cosmic rhythms and learn more about ourselves and just show up more fully. So have a beautiful weekend, everybody. Hello to everyone on YouTube, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody on YouTube. Let's see if we have some people on here. Comments. How do I end this? I'm still getting used to this on the YouTubes. Bye.